Today we're going to continue to look at something that God has called us to as believers, and that is a holy life. We read in 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 7, God has called us to live holy lives, not impure lives. Now, it's very important for us to always remember that we don't live holy to get right with God. We live holy because we are already right with God through Jesus. You see, it's so wonderful to know that our right standing with God is not based on our own works, but it's based on Jesus and His finished work. So when we make a mistake, we don't lose that right standing, we always have it. And the wonderful thing about getting born again is God actually gives us a new nature. He takes the sinful nature out, He makes us a new creation in Christ. And it's actually our nature now to live holy, because that is who we are in Christ. But you see, even though we don't have a sinful nature anymore, we still have a flesh. And many times the flesh wants to do things that are contrary to the Spirit, contrary to things that glorify God. And sometimes we all miss it. We all still fall into fleshly things every now and then. But we have the authority to say no. We have the authority to say no to the flesh and to choose to walk in the Spirit. And I believe why God has called us to a holy life is also to be attractive to the world. You see, when we look like the world, it's going to be difficult to reach them. The Bible also tells us, don't be conformed to this world. When we look like the world, it's difficult to reach the world. See, we get the world's attention when we look different to them, when we act differently, when we speak differently, and when we respond differently. And with God's help and with who He made us to be now, in and through Jesus, we can live holy lives that glorify God. And to live a holy life as a believer doesn't mean we're never going to make a mistake, doesn't mean we're going to live perfect lives, but it does mean we can live a life that can glorify God and benefit us. Because when we sin, it can also hurt us. Even in the New Covenant, we read that the wages of sin is death. But thank God, Jesus set us free from that, and we can choose to walk in the Spirit. We also read in Titus 2, verse 11 to 12, "For the grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. It teaches us to say no to ungodliness and worldly passions, and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in this present age." So we are reminded here too that the grace of God is not a license to sin. It's actually an empowerment to say no to sin and worldly passions. So let's step into the grace of God and let's abide in this calling too, to live a holy life that will benefit us, be attractive to the world, and will glorify God. Remember today, you are highly favored and deeply loved.